What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. With X-Men Apocalypse coming out this Thursday, I'd figure I would review the previous installment in the X-Men series, and that is X-Men Days of Future Past. Directed by Bryan Singer and starring a lot of people. You got the new X-Men, including James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult. And also you got the old X-Men, Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, and Halle Berry. P.S. For this review, guys, this review will contain some spoilers in it. So if you haven't seen Days of Future Past, warning, they are there. X-Men Days of Future Past. The movie opens up in the future. We get to see the mutants being treated like prisoners because the future is being run by Sentinels, which are artificial intelligence robots that were created by Dr. Bolivar Trask, played by Peter Dinklage, by using Mystique's genetics because he wants every single mutant to be extinct. Professor X thinks there's exactly no way that the Sentinels can be stopped, but there is one solution. Wolverine can heal, so they send Wolverine back in time to 1973, where he has to find younger versions of Charles Xavier and Eric Lehnsherr, played by McAvoy and Fassbender, to try to bring them together and bring along Quicksilver also, so they can find Mystique and Trask so they can save the future from being extinct. So X-Men Days of Future Past had a lot of expectations to pass, especially with Bryan Singer returning back to the franchise. He directed the first two X-Men movies, which were great, but then he left the project, didn't return for 3 so he can direct Superman Returns. Why? 3 X-Men movies later, he returns to direct the 7th installment. And was this movie good, guys? Absolutely. This movie, in my opinion, is the best X-Men movie we've had so far. Or you could say Deadpool is the best X-Men movie we've had, but Deadpool isn't considered an X-Men. The performances in this movie are all top-notch, starting with Hugh Jackman as the man with the adamantium claws, Wolverine. He just kills it. Do I really need to talk about how good Hugh Jackman is as Wolverine? No, I don't. Moving on. James McAvoy as young Charles Xavier, and he does a fantastic job portraying a younger version of Patrick Stewart. When we first see him, he's snorting up all this serum inside his body, which gives him the ability to walk, but it loses all of his powers. He's not Professor X, he's just some guy who uses serum. And it is kind of sad to see him like that, but you definitely see him develop throughout the whole entire film, becoming that Professor X we want to see. And it was great. Next, I need to talk about my favorite X-Men, and that is Magneto, played by Michael Fassbender. This guy is a badass. Fassbender brings a lot of rage and conflict to this character. He does it so great that it seriously is the same level of Ian McKellen and what he brought to Magneto. They're both are just so great as this character, and for example, of how much of a badass Magneto is in this movie, when he lifted that baseball stadium, that was the best scene I saw in this movie, hands down. Jennifer Lawrence is such a badass as Mystique. She's very sexy. I like her in all the blue. She throws down when she needs to, and she's such a very sneaky, sly character that she's really could be the antagonist in this movie, if you think about it. Do you guys want to know who I think steals pretty much one scene in the movie? That's right, Quicksilver. Wow, I love this guy so much. I am kind of bummed out that he only had one scene in this movie. I so wish he had a lot more screen time because Evan Peters stole that entire scene in the kitchen. It was so fantastic. Every single aspect is such an improvement over the past X-Men movies. The story, the characters, the visuals, the action, and the soundtrack. everything in this movie really paid off in the end. I only have one flaw with this movie, and it's the villain, Bolivar Trask, played by Peter Dinklage. Now, I love Peter Dinklage. He's a fantastic actor in Game of Thrones, Elf. The guy is just so great. It's just the way they used him in this movie. I felt like he wasn't in it enough, and I really felt like he wasn't that big of a villain. I kind of thought Mystique could have really been the villain in this movie. Sure, he does create the Sentinels, but I wish he had a lot more use and involvement in this movie to make me really understand why the X-Men need to take him down. And that's my only flaw with this movie. I'm pretty sure everybody agrees, but overall, this movie was fantastic. Everything, as I said, is such an improvement. The characters are great, the action. Days of Future Past has set the standard for the X-Men franchise, and Apocalypse has a lot of shoes to fill. I can't wait to see it, but Days of Future Past, great job. On my rating scale, I'm going to give X-Men Days of Future Past a 5 out of 5 stars. Okay guys, that was my review for X-Men Days of Future Past. What are your guys' thoughts on this movie? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you guys, as always, for watching this review, and be sure to look out for my X-Men Apocalypse review, which should be coming out next weekend. And if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!